Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd, and yes, there is a giant pepper on my head. You want to know why? I'm going to explain to you why in this panel. Now, normally I wouldn't think that putting a pepper hat on my head would be a good thing, but since they're part of my logo and part of my brand, I thought it would kind of work. And it's really not my fault. Actually, this is a fault of another YouTube person by the name of Berserker King Reviews, and he said, hey, put the pepper on your head. And he did a super chat, and because he did a super chat, I don't have a choice. I'll show you how all this works here as we get into this. So, ComicCon, Louisiana ComicCon 2021 was canceled. Why? Because there's a hurricane named Hurricane Ida, and she's on her way, and she doesn't look to be a very nice lady. She has a lot of coins in her purse. She wasn't able to go to the casino. And so her purse is very heavy, and she's just going to run up Highway 90 in Louisiana, just beating the snot out of every coastal town she can find as she comes up towards us. Now, for those who are wondering, Old School Nerd, what is the impact in Lafayette, Louisiana, where Comic-Con was supposed to be going on right now? Actually, if the hurricane had not been there, I would be at the Cajun Dome right now, and we would all be going, why is there a pepper on your head? That would be the first question that would be asked, but we're not going to really worry about that. So here's the thing. I know it's hard to take me serious with this on my head. You're just going to have to go with it. Now, the impact for Lafayette will be as follows. Sometime tomorrow night, after she makes landfall, the current track has this storm approaching within 25 miles of Lafayette to the east, which is good, which means we'll be on the side of the storm that is not as strong. However, we will have hurricane force winds here for a certain amount of time. So for the safety of everyone at Louisiana ComicCon and our guests, the celebrities that were coming in for meet and greets and signages, and those of us who were, bamboozled, the Comic-Con people to let us come, we were told to go home. Now, for me, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Number one, for me to go home from Comic-Con and not go to Comic-Con is a 10-minute drive. Literally, I live on the street that the Cajun Dome is located on, just like 10 minutes west of it. So, wasn't that far to go. The problem is, I'm where the hurricane's going. So, we're going to get this stream done, okay? And we're going to do this little panel for kind of a virtual Louisiana Comic-Con. So, those of you can say, hey, I still saw a panel at Comic-Con. I just saw it on my computer at the house. The other thing is that after this is done, I'm going to be spending the next 2 to 3 hours recording reaction videos for my YouTube channel. Why? Because part of being a content creator and a streamer on social media, on YouTube, on Twitch, on whatever platform you're going to use is being prepared. And if we lose power for 3 days, I want to make sure that I have all my reactions loaded for the next 4 days. That's called planning ahead. Lesson 1. Okay, let's get into this. You ready? Let's start the panel. Hi, everybody. So you want to be a streamer. Okay, so how many of you in the audience that are watching this video right now? Right now, we have approximately between 17 and 25 people here right now. Okay, some of you are planning to come to the Comic-Con. Some of you are part of my regular family of people. And I don't say followers or fans. I say family because it's kind of what it is. So let's talk about it. Okay. Yes, youtube.com channel Old School Nerd. Someone have a link to this channel? Rob, you're... Okay, Rob, you're out of the family. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, so you want to be a streamer. How many of you have ever thought, hey, I'm thinking that I want to be a streamer. I'm thinking about making content for YouTube. I'm thinking about being on Twitch. But you don't know. Let's get into this together, okay? We actually have slides. It's ridiculous. Okay, for those who do not know, my real name is Richard. So when I say... The fuck, Richard? I'm actually talking about myself. Okay, now, I am from Lafayette, Louisiana. I was born and raised here. I'm a YouTube reactor, a Twitch streamer, an IT professional. Yes, I actually have a real job. I actually do guest appearances on the local radio station. I enjoy discovering new music, playing video games, and cooking. I was born and raised in South Louisiana. I'm a proud Cajun, an Army veteran, and a super dad of 3 daughters. All of these things are real facts. They really happen. Yeah. Somebody says like, whoa, you have slides? No. I have presentations, and they were made by a certain someone. We'll talk about it. Okay. Streamer versus content creator. Okay, this is number one. This is really hot. I'm sorry. Thank you. Look, I'm gonna put it right here. Right here. There you go. Okay. It's right there. Nobody can see it, but it's there. Okay. So, streamer versus content creator. For me, I started off as a streamer. Now, a lot of us here have different things in our lives that we're into, whether it be video games, music, cosplay, art, TV, movies. Maybe you have a hobby. Technically, anything, stop. I'm looking at my chat going, wow. Okay, so anything that is of interest to you can technically become content. Now, when you're talking about streamer versus content creator, I've done both. There's a difference. Streamers do it live, okay? And it's an interaction with people like we're doing right now. Anything can go wrong. I could have technical difficulties. I could mispronounce words. My chat could go totally nuts, but we're going to talk about how that works here in a little bit. Content creators are people that can be both in a live context and a recorded, edited context. I do both. So I will do live streams. You can edit that down, make it more presentable, put it in a little package, a little bow, happy smiley face, stick it as a content. Now, people ask me all the time, well, what do you mean by content? And this is very, very, very important, okay? Content can be in so many genres. We talk about YouTube, we talk about Twitch, but we also need to understand that Instagram is content, TikTok is content. Remember Vine? That's considered content. Facebook Live, that's considered content. Any platform where you can put either motion capture, and what I mean by motion capture, I mean snippets, little slideshows, little caption videos. We call them, the YouTube shorts, TikTok videos. A lot of that stuff could just be done with this. Just a camera, a phone. You could do it with the simplest of objects. So that's completely up to you. Now, let's talk about, it's kind of weird, but when we talk about your platform, okay? Now, I started in Twitch, okay? Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to be a Twitch streamer. I first saw my first Twitch streamer ever. And his name is Noah J456, okay? And I was sitting at work one day and I was on my lunch break and I pulled up YouTube and I was watching videos and this video popped up of highlights of Noah playing PUBG. Now, for those of you who know what PUBG is, it was, it still is, but at one time, PUBG was the biggest video game in the world right next to Fortnite. And he also did Fortnite as well, but he was really known for playing PUBG, and he's world famous as being a Call of Duty zombie streamer. But in this case, I'm just watching him, and you see his face on the screen, and he's playing the video games, and I'm like, I could do that. So, and what's interesting is Noah J456 is actually in Houston, Texas. So he's really close. And so I started watching those videos and I said, you know what? I play World of Warcraft. I could play Fortnite. I could do all these things. Why don't I do it? So I gave it a try on Twitch. And I streamed on Twitch for about, about 3 years, okay? Now, in Twitch, I have about 1,000 followers, and I developed a community of friends of like interest, okay? You play the same games, you do the same thing, and so on. At the same time of all this, I'm still watching a lot of YouTube because I'm watching highlights, I'm watching this. And then I run across my first reaction video. And it got a little crazy because this was before Tank the Tech. This was, back in the day of when everyone was kind of checking out Alex Hefner when he first started. And you had quite a few reactors reacting to music. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. And as I would watch them, I would comment on their stuff. And I was noticing that all the stuff that I was mentioning were things that the reactors weren't noticing. 2 and 2 together with COVID being stuck at home in 2020, at some point I just said, well, rather than me commenting on everything that they're missing or everything they're getting wrong or everything that I'm noticing that they're not, I said, let me try it. And that became my niche. So, people are going to say, what's the best platform to do content creation on? Is it YouTube? Is it Twitch? Is it? No. Actually, it's what's best fits what you're trying to do. If there's a reason why the most successful social media content creator from Lafayette, from where I'm from, is Addison Rae. And she's a young lady on TikTok. She's got 80 million followers on TikTok, 40 million on Instagram, and she's from Lafayette, Louisiana. And all she does is dance a little bit, smile a little bit, take little videos, and she takes what is best about her, and she's on TikTok mostly. Okay? So Okay, so yeah. In fact, she's so successful she doesn't live here anymore. So anyway, it's true. It's so true. It's crazy. Okay. Here's the thing that gets me. Okay, let's talk about this. This is very important. Okay. I see a lot of streamers when they start doing streaming. Okay, and they go into this, and I did it too. If you go back. That's 7 zeros, Mike, for 80 million. So that's an 8 with 7 zeros. So, she has more TikTok followers than Biden and Trump combined. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let's check this out. Yeah, she could run for president with 80 million votes. Thank God she's not old enough. Okay, so just be yourself. Now, when you see different, whether it's Twitch streaming, YouTube videos, reaction channels, music channels, how-tos, entertainment, comedy, you will see all of these people and they just have this personality. Now, everybody's different, and I'm going to give you an analogy that has nothing to do with streaming or anything to do with computers. Let me give you this little hint. Okay. For all of you who are wrestling fans, okay, the most famous wrestler of our generation would be, like, you would look at, like, in the 80s, it was all Hulk Hogan, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock, and then now it's CM Punk, and John Cena, and all those things, right? Now, every time that you see a wrestler, when we were growing up watching WWE or WCW or AEW, whatever they are, you go into, no, I would slap myself if I said The Miz. Okay, you see all of these wrestlers that they try to push. Hold on, Beth, we're getting there. Okay, I've actually met Mark Calloway before he was, Anyway, so you have all these wrestlers that come out, and you notice how every time a wrestler is just themselves, just amped up, they become mega famous. Steve Williams, who's Stone Cold Steve Austin, his personality that you saw in wrestling is literally just himself cranked up to 11. People talk about, CM Punk. He's just himself. John Cena is just himself. But then when you see like, name a wrestler who was like some overdumb gimmick where they had to be somebody they weren't and act like they're not really themselves, it never really connects, right? So for instance, when people talk about, okay, the two that you were mentioning, some people said, okay, The Undertaker. And if you've never seen, there's a, on the WWE Network, which is now Peacock, there's a, an actual documentary they did about his last few years in wrestling. And he explained to people that he had to be the gimmick. He had to be his character. But then he just realized that that's just myself, just to 11. So when you see people on that are streaming video games and stuff, and they're trying to be something they're not, or they keep changing themselves, they struggle. It's the best way to be is just being yourself. Now, when I first started streaming, if you go back on Twitch and look at some of my old videos and stream, and some of them are actually in YouTube now, there's some of the older videos, you'll see that I'm trying to be like a streamer, but I'm not being myself, okay? Old School Nerd is actually just Richard without a filter. Old School Nerd is just me if I didn't have to worry about everything in life. But at the same time, what makes me myself is that I take the things that are me and I make them important to the stream. For instance, let me give you an example, okay? At the beginning of my stream, we always talked about the beard because it's something I can't get away from, right? My unique, amazing ability to say every name that I read that's from another country completely wrong. Why? Because I'm trying to take English language rules and apply them to Dutch, to Japanese, right? To German. And they don't translate very well. Here's the best part. So because I make those mistakes, I realized, you know what? I'm never going to get away from the fact that I make these mistakes. So why not make that something that you can use as a strength? Some of you out there, they're going to see this video. They're like, I want to be a streamer. I want to be a content creator, but I have this problem, or I have this difficulty, or I have this thing that holds me back, or I have stupid hair. Like I have stupid soccer mom hair, or, you know, I have the personality of a rock sitting in a desert. You know, okay, fine. Use it. Use it. When I say, for me, I took the combination of when I'm watching YouTube reactors, okay? Let me just go to the next thing. Let's stay with just be yourself because this is really important. Okay. When you go into being who you are as a character or as yourself on a platform, whether it be streaming or content creation, you have to be yourself. And what I mean by that is this. I will go and watch a reaction channel and they're all about the hype and there's no substance. And even if the reaction is funny or there's something interesting about it, there's no depth to it. Now, when you're dealing, and I'm just going to talk about this one genre, reaction videos, whether it be to TV, movies, music, most of them are music. But when you're reacting to, say, to a music, you're going to see three types of channels. You're going to see the ones that are all about the hype. The thumbnail is like they're exploding, they're doing this to every video they see. And they get in there and they're just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh, and you know, and all of a sudden that's just, okay, Vine died for that, okay? And then, and then they can't go anywhere beyond it. That was so awesome, but they can't tell you why. Now, there are groups of people that, for the people that are just into the shock factor or the funny factor, that'll appeal to them. But if that's not you, don't do that. Then there are the channels or reactors or creators that have a depth of thought process. Here's some examples. Tank the Tech, Nick Nocturnal, Charismatic Voice. Those are people in the entertainment industry, musicians, technical people, and vocal coaches. They speak from a point of view of authority and creativity, and they can share with you things about the process or things about the art that you might enjoy. Then you have the third type of reactor, which is the one where they have a tendency to just be not hype, not professional opinion, but they're trying to give you a real reaction. So I try to do that. I'm more of a, I have a studio background, a production background, and a musical background to where I can speak to some things, but I can't speak as a professional musician. So I won't. But I have a love of music. I have 46 years on the planet, so I've seen so many different types of music, and I have a unique gift. Growing up, I had very close to an eidetic memory, which means that I can recall almost instantly pop culture references or popular references of a historical nature at whim. And they flood into me constantly. Outside of this platform, outside of this area, if I go to Walmart or I go to the grocery store or I go somewhere with my kids, we went to dinner last night, we had sushi, and I will just see something that will remind me of something that was 20 years ago, and I will just go on a rant for 10 minutes about that thing being this, and I can remember details. That's my gift. So I try to use that in creating interesting ideas. I started off, yes. No, we went to Osaka. So, okay. No, negative. Jason S. is talking about Two-Lit Mafia. By the way, I enjoy Two-Lit Mafia. I've always enjoyed his stuff. He is a hype reactioner. Hype reactioner. He is part of a giant segment of reaction channels where you take one culture and you expose them to a culture that they're not familiar with, and then watch them freak out. Two-Lit Mafia is in a hip-hop rap genre focus, and then he exposes himself to metal music. And in doing so, he allows the cross-stereotype hypeness, the draw of the rapper reacts to metal genre. Alex Hefner, his entire channel was that. And so now you have, and this is interesting, okay? On YouTube, there's a giant segment of like a whole list, a whole group of channels, huge reaction channels, where it's all this. African American person reacting to white media stuff. Whether it be a African American person reacting to Bill Burr, or a white comedian, or a hip hop African American person reacting to white metal music. And then all of a sudden, one of these reactors will then run across, oh, I don't know, right? Kill Switch Engage. Oh my God. You know, the singer is black. And then all of a sudden, it's clickbait. It is click, 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 click. Now, is that wrong for people to do? No, because they're using it as a business, which brings me to my next point. Hobby versus career. If you want to be a content creator and your thought is, I want to be Mr. Beast, I want to be Dr. Disrespect, I want to be Courage, I want to be Tim the Tap Man, I want to be the charismatic voice, I want to be this person, this person, this person, stop right there. None of those people, when they started streaming, content creating, thought they would be where they were now. If you go back and watch any of those people, 10 years ago, they were just a guy or a girl sitting in their living room on a crappy computer with a horrible webcam, and they're like this, and they're like, okay, playing some video games, guys. We all started the same way. okay? We all started the same way. But as they go, they develop themselves, okay? Your hobby versus career, okay? When you do streaming, make it something you enjoy doing. Make it, I don't care. Okay, I'm gonna give you some examples. You ready? Here we go. There's a guy, he's right up there. I see you right now. His name is Jason S., okay? He's from Oklahoma. Now, Jason S. has a very unique skill set, okay? He is a metal fabricator. He's very artistic, he's very creative, and he made this sign. Now, it would be very easy for Jason to make a channel, a YouTube channel. He could do it live on stream, any platform he wants, making different metal fabricated signs for people, custom built right there. There are a lot of them. One of the biggest Twitch channels in the world is a guy, okay, in New Zealand, right? Y'all know who I'm talking about? And all he does, he gets in his back shed with a webcam and he carves intricate tribal wood carvings. That's all he does. And he's one of the most successful streamers in the world on Twitch. And he's just doing what he loves, okay? Now, when we talk about Jason, let me explain a few things that Jason is now probably thinking about. Jason's thinking about production. Jason's thinking about, okay, how do I present myself? Okay, I'm not old school nerd. I can't just ramble off stuff. Jason has the personality of some of the metal machines he works with. He's very dry, okay? But the thing about it is, that could be what makes him great. What if he goes in there and he cranks up that dryness, that direct, hey everybody, my name is Jason and I'm a metal fabricator. What if he cranks that up to 11 and just becomes more like himself? And then that will draw in, okay, based upon what he is great at, okay? So his content will not be about himself as his personality like mine is. His is about the work. So what he's going to have to work on is presenting the work in the best way. And he's going to learn by doing. And the more he does, the more it's going to be there, and then the more it comes. Okay, so what you need to do is, okay, so hobby versus career. I don't care if it's makeup. I don't care if it's, you know what? I love the YouTube and Twitch channels where they're working on cosplay. And it's perfect for Comic-Con when you talk about all these cosplayers and they're like, it's so easy. You're working on your cosplay outfit. You're working on all this stuff. And if your friends were there, you'd be talking to them about, okay, so the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want it to look like this character, but I kind of want to make it look like this genre, but I want to make it unique by doing it like this. And then your friend would say, wait a minute, where'd you come up with this idea? Oh, well, I did like this and this. See how that works? Now, instead of that person being one of your friends in your room where you're working on your craft, make it a webcam. And then it becomes not only your hobby, but now you're working to something. Remember, this thing that I'm doing now was a hobby, something to blow off steam, okay? I was going through a divorce. I was going to be the dad of 3 girls. I was working all the time, and my way to blow off steam was playing video games. And I thought, you know what? Put a webcam, let me talk to people. And now we're to this point, which brings me to my next point. Branding yourself. Okay? Now, okay, branding. Now, this little icon you see right here and this sign you see right here is a name I made up for myself. Now, if you want to go in yourself, that's fine. But if you notice, a lot of people go in with a name. Now, for me, I thought, old school nerd, because I have this affinity for everything that's 70s, 80s, 90s from my childhood, and I can compare it instantly with stuff now, and I can go back and forth. So, but look at my freaking toy collection. I'm an old school nerd, okay? I love Star Wars and Atari and Legos and Transformers, and I've seen all the Lord of the Rings movies, and don't even get me started on Star Wars lore and the problems with Disney screwing it up. So by taking all of those 3, I was able to make a name for myself, and that was nothing. The logos, the websites, the way that we, for instance, when we talk about it, we talk about, okay, let me give you an example.
It's time for reaction.
That entire thing is done every time I make a video. And that took time. By the way, the music, found it on a free server, so it doesn't get copyrighted, right? The logo, you find someone that can make you a logo. Now, branding yourself, do not spend a bunch of money on branding yourself, because your brand will evolve as you do, okay? And you can find people to find ways to do that stuff. And let me talk about it like this, okay? We're gonna go into this real quick, okay? Branding yourself, okay? This is some stuff put together by Chelsea Dimbo Creative. Now, some of you know Chelsea, maybe. She's my lead moderator. She's my partner in crime. And without her, I probably couldn't do all this stuff, okay? You're gonna find people that help you, okay? So here we go. She is a graphic designer and branding specialist, and she owns her own company. She has worked for multi-million-dollar companies. She's done creative work and branding for internet businesses, brick and mortar businesses, small businesses, and giant ones. Also Etsy and everything else. These are some of the things she wants you guys to know, and let me read them for you. Branding is more than just a logo. It's people's perception of you. If you lean into things that are authentically you, your branding will feel effortless. That's why it's so easy for me to say, I'm Old School Nerd. 100% real reactions, real mistakes. All of my t-shirt ideas, all this stuff that has become synonymous with me is because of the things that I've done, and it just developed. I've taken the fact that because I come from a streaming background, I will literally do all my reactions live and put them on just as I did. Because one of my biggest problems was I saw that all these other reactors were doing these reactions, and you could tell that they knew everything about the song. You could tell that they've seen the song before because they had way too much information. And there was so much editing, you're like, how many times have you seen this and you did all this before we saw it? So I thought, you know what? Go to Twitch style, make it live, and put it up just as you did it, even if you make a mistake. So as people would say, hey, and this all comes down to, hey, that's not the hood. Remember, I posted an entire video and it went really strong, not because I did a great video, but because I named a boat wrong. And everyone who was a fan of this band went, that's not the name of the boat. And they ran with it. And it just became a thing where, yes, I don't say the names of artists, especially if they're in another language correctly, when I'm reading them for the first time. Here's the thing. When you go across a video of someone and they're like, oh, today we're doing this, and it's this, and it's da-da-da-da. And it's like, how do you know? If this was a reaction, that means you're not supposed to have known any of this stuff. You never have seen this before. How do you know? So when I go in there and I say it wrong or I mess up and I'm like, it's now part of me. It's part of my channel. My mistakes are part of what makes people realize it's authentic. So you see, sometimes if I'm shooting a video and I get all the way to the end and I mispronounce a word or I say something wrong, some people will be like, ugh, I hate myself. And they go back and do it again. I use it as an advantage. Let's talk about the logo. Your logo should visually reinforce who you are. If done well and incorporated thoughtfully from the beginning, it can help you drive your success by providing a more professional look. My logo is exactly what the idea of my logo was, a combining of who I am, where I'm from, with little hints. People that see my logo, which is this, okay? If you're not from Lafayette, Louisiana, a lot of the stuff in that logo doesn't matter. But if you are from Louisiana, if you are from Lafayette, Louisiana, if you've ever been here, you realize that the vermilion red is the color of the local university. University of Louisiana. The fleur-de-lis, now you have to be very careful, by the way. This is why I always tell people to contact an actual creative designer, because they're going to help you in ways you wouldn't think about. This is a particular fleur-de-lis. It has been modified so it does not look like the New Orleans Saints fleur-de-lis. It's a different shape. And it is not the same shape as the one from the university that we're next to. You see what I'm saying? It's the little things. That's why you need to consult with someone who knows how to do this stuff. Oh, by the way, the gaps for the ends, cayenne peppers. Why? Because I'm a Cajun. It's not just a channel, it's an extension of myself. Okay. Consistency is the key in creating brand recognition. Integrate your branding, including fonts and colors, and across every media you're utilizing, from streaming platform and social media to website and merch. Okay. Once we got Chelsea and I got together, and once we decided, okay, this is your logo, this is your brand, this is who you are, let's pick your colors. We picked white, we picked red, all the way to yellow, and then every gradient and shade thereof between. Okay? Now, we still use the core red, that vermilion that you see in our, right here, and we always accent with this bright yellow. Okay? That has been the consistent, if you look at my thumbnails, the only time I deviate from the red and the yellow is because I want something unique. Like if I do, okay, we butter the bread with butter. The reason why on their thumbnails I use a purple with a light blue is because that's a color that they use a lot in their videos. And I want to say to you guys, Violet Orlandi, I will use a deep dark red with a black background. Why? Because it's kind of her. So we're sharing that, but there's a consistency there. My website, merchandise, everything is identical. So once you set your brand, you're good to go. Now, can you add new things? Absolutely. And the best part about it is anytime you make a change to your brand, when you make a change to your, the world that you've created, make it an event. I made an event out of getting this sign. I made an event out of making new merch. Okay? Always look for ways to bring yourself out. Again, if you are seriously thinking about making a channel, like an actual channel on Twitch or on YouTube, and you want to talk about branding, okay? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to let you know how this works, okay? Someone in the chat is saying, well, wait a minute. I don't even have a budget. All I got is an app on my phone. Da-da-da. That's all you need. Creating the brand has nothing to do with the equipment. If you get someone who can help you with that logo, if you go up to Chelsea and say, Jason goes up to Chelsea Dimbo Creative and he contacts her and says, listen, I want to make a logo for my metal fabrication. What should I do? That's her problem. She's going to talk to you and she's going to say, okay, tell me about you. Tell me about what you love. Tell me about your favorite color. What are the colors of where you're from? And she's going to go through all these things and she's going to present you with ideas to choose from. You pick the one you want. And if that's the one you want, then you guys can talk about how much it's going to cost for it to be yours. And then once you've branded that with that logo, you talk to someone like, Chelsea Dimbo Creative, or there's all kinds of creators. If you don't want to use that, that's fine. And then they can help you put that on the platform. The platform you're on has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with all this equipment you see around me or you don't see around me. It has to do with what exists in the virtual world. You can take any logo, any branding, and put it on the platform. It doesn't matter what you have here, okay? Like Crimson just popped in. Crimson is a guy on Twitch, okay? Great streamer on Twitch. You see him in chat. Check him out. And that brings me to my next point. Building a community. Okay. Outside of being yourself, this is the number one thing. This is a close number two to just being yourself. I don't care what platform you use. You can use Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Building the community is the most important thing you will ever do. When I started on Twitch, I knew nobody, and neither will you. Get ready to talk to nobody for at least a month. Crimson, am I right? Of course I'm right. When you start streaming or content creating, you're going to get 1 view, 2 views, 3 views. Those will probably be you watching your shit 3 times, but you're getting it out there. You're going to find one person and go, hey man, I like your stuff. Hey, thank you. Hey, I followed your channel. I subscribed to your channel. Hey, I'm following you on Instagram or da-da-da. When you get that first person, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, is there anything you liked or didn't like? You get that feedback. Okay? Then it's going to be 2 people and then 3 people. And then every once in a while, you'll run across people that from the beginning you have a connection with. I'm going to share with you guys a story. This is probably the most, God, I'm going to say this story and I'm going to start crying. So just hang out with me, okay? When I first wanted to be a Twitch streamer, I had the shittiest computer on the planet. I had a HP 2-in-1, all-in-ones. You know, it was horrible. And it was so bad that I couldn't even play Fortnite. PUBG, forget it. All those games were beyond the graphic capability. And even playing WoW, I had to drop the graphics down. So I kept thinking to myself, how in the world am I going to be on Twitch streaming with this level of computer? If you go back on my YouTube channel and go all the way back to my very first videos, they're of me streaming on the crappiest computer on the planet with my back to that window right there that you don't see now. I didn't know what to do. Okay? So I started doing research. OBS was a pipe dream. All the different applications that were used to stream were bigger than the games I was playing, so I couldn't run those on my computer either. So I came across one called Bebo. This is a while back. And Bebo was a different little organization. They were literally focused on making a streaming platform, a streaming application that allowed you to get onto YouTube or Twitch or whatever, even if you had a really crappy computer. And the reason why they did that was instead of relying upon your computer to do all the graphic processing, their application would do it on their remote server. So they were doing all the heavy lifting for you. It was a unique idea, and I thought this was probably going to be the best way for me to do it. And I was having trouble setting it up. I had no idea what to do. I didn't know how to set up the camera. I didn't know how to set up my microphone. Didn't know how to get the sound to work. Didn't know how to put an overlay in. Didn't know anything. I was a 43-year-old dad, a recently divorced dad with 3 kids, no idea how to do this, and I'm trying to do something that Ninja's doing. Okay? Kind of behind the times. So I get in there and contact Bebo support. So I click the link. Guy pops up in the little chat box in the bottom right over there. And he goes, "Hey, my name is Mike. Can I help you?" And I went, "Yeah, help." I'll never forget this conversation. "Help. I'm an old dad. I don't know what I'm doing. Help." He goes, "I'm a dad too." And he actually walked through all the steps to get me going. We built my Twitch channel, put my name in. He helped me link the application to the platform. We did a little test thing. He wanted to see if it would go live. It went live. He popped up in my chat room and goes, "Congratulations, you are now a Twitch streamer. Oh, by the way, I'm your first follower." And he followed me. I had not done a Twitch stream yet, and I had my first Twitch follower. And I was like, Wow. What people don't know, and some of you who will see this video will know when I say this, you'll recognize the name. When I look down on Twitch, the name of Mike's name on Twitch was Pre-Fires TV. And he had he was a Twitch partner. He had a regular stream. He had this big community. And he just helped me put my channel together, and he was my first follower on Twitch. And every time I would float messages to him, he would be like, yeah, dude, you need to do this, and if you need anything else, let me know. And anytime I would pop into his channel while he was streaming, he would see me in chat, and he'd be like, hey, old school nerd, what's up, buddy? He didn't have to do any of that. He had 150 people watching his stream. And he saw my name and remembered me. And at the same time, I had been streaming for maybe 2 weeks. I had no followers except maybe one. I think it was a pity follower. And I was sitting there talking to him. Hey, everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. We're going to be streaming WoW today. And we're going to be trying to do this and this and da-da-da-da. And I would just stream for hours to nobody. So when I tell you, when you start streaming or you start making creational content, I'm telling you now, you're going to talk to yourself for a while, and it's okay. You want to know why? Because being able to talk to yourself to a camera and working through your stuff will make you better at this. It'll give you the opportunity to be able to focus, relate, make comments, look at yourself in a camera. What's the best lighting? What's the best angle? What's going on? So back to the story. Things are going well. And my channel grows on Twitch. And 2 years in, I start meeting all these different people. And I could go through the whole list. Crimson, you're one of them. There's a few that I do want to mention. Silly Candy on Twitch, check her out. She's amazingly funny. And what makes Silly Candy, her channel, great is because she's just like everybody else. She's a single mom. She found a great boyfriend, fiance, husband on Twitch. She goes through life like everyone else. And what makes Silly Candy's channel work, ready, is her community. She has made amazing friends that are 10 times funnier than her. And in her chat, I can sit in Silly Candy's chat and just enjoy the damn chat because they're hilarious. Oops. That was my key. I said, you know what? One day I want to have a community like Silly Candy has. As I'm doing Twitch streaming, I meet a guy by the name of Vlad Crapula. I'm not joking. Greatest Twitch handle in the history of the world. Vlad Crapula. So he's from Florida. He's the only person I know who has a shittier computer than I do. And we just start playing games together. And then I meet more and more people. Alpha Wolf. And there's all these different people in my chat that come in every day. And Anime Zero. And then I started meeting people. Meeting people from other countries. Get ready for that. The thing about being a content creator is that you are no longer stuck where you are. The second you start making content or streaming or whatever it is, you are now open to the world. So start 2 things. Number 1, let go of your prejudices. Let go of whatever your narrow-minded thought is. Because when you start talking to people about where you're from, and they're from Iceland, it's not the same at all. Gummy. So, met a guy from Belgium, and I met a guy from Denmark, and I met a woman from Sweden, and of course I'm talking about, Gabby TV on Twitch, huge, wonderful lady. Zmakamok, who is a professional WoW streamer from Denmark, and Anime Zero, who's a professional Anime Zero. But all those people, whether they were way bigger than I was in Twitch or below where I was in Twitch, it didn't matter because we were all in that trenches together, and you build that camaraderie. Then YouTube happened. I realized that I could try to do something in YouTube, and I just tried doing a YouTube reaction to music, and within 2 weeks I went from just a couple hundred followers or subscribers on YouTube, and those were all people that came over from Twitch when I started, to hitting 4,000 in 10 days. I've never heard of that, and most people haven't heard of that either, and that was just because I had a unique take on Ginger. I did Pisces and Who's Going to Be the One, and they just kind of clicked for me. And it just blew up from there. And that's how it went. Twitch and YouTube have a tendency to be very different. Twitch is very stream-oriented, very gaming-oriented. YouTube is kind of a bag of everything. Videos, live streams. Live gaming streams are actually the lowest priority on YouTube, whereas on Twitch, they're the mainstay. So I knew that when I came over to YouTube, I was going to have to start over with my community. I'm fortunate enough that a lot of the people that you see on that chat room right now blessed me with their presence. In YouTube, I developed an even stronger community than I thought I would find in Twitch, and I finally achieved that unique semblance of family. There are a lot of people that if I start naming names, I'm going to forget one, because that's what I do, and I'm going to hurt someone's feelings. So I'm just going to say the first one. First person that came along in my stream was a guy from Finland. His name is Eunice, okay? And he instantly joined in, and he was like, dude, da-da-da-da-da. And then another person, and another person, and another person. And you're going to find people that are going to come across, and they're just going to be genuine with you, and you're going to have this connection with them. And the next thing you know, there's your first moderator. Because as you spend time, you realize that they respect what you're doing. And for some reason, you're kind of an inspiration to them. And you're like, why? I'm just me. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, I've built a community. And that continues. The adjustable endgame. Okay. You're going to start off with this. Nothing. You're going to have nothing but you. You're going to be talking to your screen. No one's going to be there. And the reason why you keep talking when you're playing whatever game you're playing or you're doing whatever you're doing, okay, so, oh my God, he got me, da-da-da-da. Anybody else would be like, dude, you're insane. You're talking to yourself. No, you're not. You know what you're doing? You're talking to the people that are going to be viewing this the next day or a year from then. I have people that go back and watch videos that I posted a year ago, 2 years ago, and they're like, there was nobody watching you, but because you were still talking like you had 1 million people watching you, it made sense in the video. I was like, well, yeah, you realize that you don't know where you're going to be in a year. If someone told me, hey, you're going to start, if someone told me in December of 2020, hey, old school, when you get to next August, you're okay, in 8.5 months, 9 months, about the same time to have a baby, right? When you give birth to this thing in 9 months, you're going to have 51,000 subscribers. You're going to have 5.5 million views. You have a video on YouTube that is 1.25 million views on one video. And when you do a live stream, 25 people are going to come just to see you talk. I would have went, shut the hell up. You don't know. So many times in our lives, somebody puts something in front of us and they keep moving the goalposts. This is the only time where moving the goalposts is good. Start off with a simple goal, okay? And when you start off with that goal, you're going to achieve that goal and you set the next one and you keep going. When we started doing YouTube reactions to video games, I just kind of left the Twitch thing behind because I was like, okay, I've got 7,000 people now. It's been a couple days. We went from 4,000 to 7,000. What's going on? I had 400 followers on Twitch and 10,000 on YouTube. How do you not say, okay, I need to put most of my focus on YouTube? The reaction videos kept going and going and going. And then in my community, one of my friends in my community goes, hey, you ever played D&D before? I love playing D&D. And I was like, dude, I haven't played D&D since I was 12. You know, the first time I ever played D&D, I was 10. Okay, it was 1984. Sorry. And then 1986 was the last time I played. He goes, you do realize it's all online now. And I went, what? That became D&D streams live on YouTube, which then became 2 streams, and then now 3 streams. And then from that, I put them both together and took D&D Beyond, and I start taking people that I've done reactions to their videos and turn them into D&D characters. Things will occur, and with amazing support people that you will find around you, you will develop to the next level. Never give up on yourself. Always look for the next angle. Look for the next idea. Some will work. Some will be horrible. Some will be like, yeah, remember that thing we did? I'm never going to do that again. It can happen. Now, let's talk about a few things. In this chat, in this Want to Be a Streamer chat, I want to make 2 big statements, and this goes to a lot of you who are thinking about doing this, okay? Remember when we talked about doing this as a hobby, and if it becomes a career, great? Even though you're doing it as a hobby, you have to treat it legally as though it is your job. Whether it be Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook Live, whatever. Those are companies in the real world realm that when you sign on to do content, everything you say, everything you do, everything you allow in your chat room is now your legal responsibility. So for me, I'm going to give you a couple hints. If you are under the age of 18 and or your parents still pay for all your crap like internet, phone, computer, that stuff, listen very carefully. You have got to be involved with your parents or guardian before you can do any of this stuff, okay? Because everything you do will resonate to them. If you post something and it goes viral for the wrong reason, your parents pay for your phone, your parents pay for your internet, it will come back on them, especially if you're under 18. If you're under 18 and your parents are not, let's do this, you need to talk to them, get with them about doing it. If they have questions, they can find me on Instagram. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, cancel culture is a real freaking thing. And unfortunately, you're not making a content channel for the people on your street. You hear what I'm saying? You're making a content channel for the world. That means different people, different ideas, different thought processes, and different beliefs. Okay? So here's a little rule for you. I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I never, ever talk about or allow on my channel or chat room. And this is where you have that community. You get moderators that understand what you're wanting and that they're going to help you do this. Okay. Number 1, we do not talk about religion of any kind on my channel. Why? Because in the history of the world, more wars have occurred and more people have died over religion than anything else in the world. Now, I have my own beliefs. I believe very strongly in how I believe, but that also means that there are people all around the world that do not believe what I believe. So now, if you want to make a channel about religious content, go ahead. But if you're trying to just be a channel of content, make that number 1. Nobody talks about religion. You don't do it, and you don't do it in your chat, and you don't let people do it in your chat. If they do, you warn them the first time, and you put them in timeout the second time, maybe even ban them if they get belligerent. That's just a good rule. Number 2, sex. More wars and more people have died over religion, but more people have been arrested, sued, and kicked off platform because of sex. Okay? And when I say sex, I'm also referring to genders, sexual preferences, etc. It's just a good idea to keep it off. If you wouldn't say it in front of your grandmother, don't say it in your chat. Unless your channel's about sexual content. You're on your own on that one. Good luck. Get you a nice hot tub and yeah, anyway. Okay. Number 3, politics. Now, if you ain't figured out to keep politics out of your channel, I don't know what to tell you. Crack a book and turn the TV on in the last 4 years, and you know that no matter what you say, half of everyone in existence is going to think you're wrong. Because, as we all know, right now we're kind of at a 50-50 split as to what one side thinks and what another side thinks. So I've thought to myself, you know what? I personally am an independent, and there's some things on both sides I don't really like so much. So I just keep it off my channel altogether. Now, do I do reactions to Tom McDonald? Yes, I do. Why? Because it's gold. I react to Tom McDonald videos because he's going to get 100 million views on that video. And the stuff he's talking about is going to make people go, well, da, da, da. So what I do is I keep my standard neutrality rule in place. I am Switzerland. And I talk about the creativity. I talk about the way he's doing it. The points he's making. I'm not saying that they're right. That's his art. I'm just making a reaction to it. See how that works? Now, as you go, you're going to meet amazing people. You know, the first time Leo Maracchioli sent me a private message, hey, loved your reaction. I was like, oh my God. Violet Orlandi, Astriction, Torrential Rain, Orbit Culture, Vintersea. There's so many different Timo Mirage. All these different people have you report, we decide. Exactly. So you never know where you're going to go next. So you need to have an adjustable end game. Okay? So it should never be something you say, I'm going to get to here and I'm going to be fine. It should always be something to the next point. You need to have that great support system to tell you when you've gone too far. You need to have at least 2 or 3 people that you can confide in. Because remember, you're one set of eyes, one set of ears, and you may not be seeing things all the time. I also want to talk, before I open it up to questions, I want to dedicate this panel, damn it, this panel and this stream and this video, I want to dedicate to Pre-Fires TV, Mike, the guy that helped me set up my first Twitch channel ever. Helped me set up my streaming platform, helped me do everything because I didn't know what I was doing. He was one of my heroes because anyone that puts their own effort, that they don't have to, into helping you, it kind of always means something to you. Mike passed away of cancer a year ago. And it was just before COVID hit. And he left behind an amazing wife and 2 amazing kids. Make those connections, your community, important to you. They become your friends. They become your family. If something happened to Vlad Crapula in Florida tomorrow, I would be devastated. Mike Alvarado, Anime Zero, you know, Eunice, even Gummy in Iceland. And that guy's nuts. But you meet all these wonderful people and you don't realize we're all still so fragile and life is so short. You never know. So, let me do this real quick. I don't even know if it's still there. Yeah, it is. There you go. Free Fires TV.
For me, creativity starts with what if. Shut
up with your shit. Okay. This is Free Fires TV. His platform is still there. He's still raising toys for tots, and he's passed on. So we lost Mike. And I'm never gonna unfollow his channel. So he's still hosting people. And he's been passed on for so long. So I just wanna, I don't know if it's gonna show up or not. I'm gonna go to my channel. I don't even know if I can find it here. My suggested streamers. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to show up like this, guys. I'm going to try to figure it out. Oh, here's my followers list. Okay. This may take a while to upload, but damn it, we're going to do it. As we scroll through this list, it's going to take a while. These are all people from Twitch from back in the day, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Hey, Caroline. I love you, kiddo. Also, remember, while we're scrolling through this right here, never let something that makes you feel like you can't do this stop you. I'm going to give you an example. One of my daughters suffers with a disorder, and she struggles with it every day. But I remember she did a Twitch stream, and she received so much love and support because they didn't care that she had Tourette's. They cared that she was giving it a try. So if my daughter with Tourette's can drop F-bombs on Twitch but make sense of it all, then it's probably going to be okay. So I'm going to scroll through this. Now it's time for questions and answers. So if you have a question and it has to do with being a content creator, being a streamer, now's the time to do it, okay? Please ask it in chat and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Oh my God. So he had me make an account so that I could test it and see if my own stream was working. And when it was, and I said, hey, I can see myself. He goes, can you see me? Mike Alvarado, how do I get a beard like you? The refinery in Lafayette, Louisiana, asked for Leah. No, she actually, my beard was way out here like yours was. And she just started shaping it. She showed me how to care for it. She showed me how to do the beard balm and the beard oil and how to comb it. She didn't just trim it. She's like, this is how you need to do this. And yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm okay, baby. My daughter's worried about me. See right here, Dr. Norser, great person, awesome person. So many amazing people. Venom X28. That dude sent me a gift card for a gun harness. Here's Alpha Wolf right here. Slabu. There's so many people that are still streaming. Here's Gabby. There's Anime Zero up there. But this right here is what I meant. Yeah, you can come give me a hug if you want. Okay. How do you use music in my creation vids? The legality, slow it down, volume low, something else. Okay. Just like anything else, when you first start your channel, you're not going to be that worried about it. Hey, kiddo. You're not going to worry about that stuff at first. One thing you can do, and I'm going to show you a little trick. There's a company that I use purposefully, okay? And I use, it's called Epidemic Sound, okay? Epidemic Sound, you can actually log in. And I want to say it's like, they have plans as low as $4 a month. But what happens is you sign in, you log in, you make a profile, and their entire music library is available to you. And because they own the music and you're logged in to your thing, they know that your name, that you in your little thing, you put in the name of whatever channel you have. So whenever they get a copyright announcement that their music is being used on someone's stream, it gets checked against their list of users, and you never have a problem with it. So, like, you guys have heard this song, right? I know you guys have heard this one. Oh, and this one right here was the intro song of my channel for over a year. Okay? Simple little... So there are ways to get music, okay? So, and they're not even that hard to get. But you can do it. If you need help with that, let me know. Now, the best part about using Epidemic Sound or whatever is all of their stuff is copyright controlled for themselves, so you don't have to worry about getting hit with any type of announcements or legal hits or strikes or anything. And you can make them rotate. And you can put them, you can as low as you want. You can make them as quiet, so they're just background noise. So it's not that bad. You don't have to worry about that. My suggestion to you is also do not, I repeat, do not use any music that was produced between 1988 and 2015. I don't care if you have written permission with a picture of you standing next to the artist. They will strike your channel and you can be nailed for it. Because that was also during the chaotic world where the internet occurred and the music industry was fighting against the internet. Not just Napster, but YouTube started to get big and record companies were like, well, we're never going to sell records anymore because everyone's just watching it on YouTube. So they started this big campaign back in the 90s to fight against it. So from, right at the beginning of the 90s until 2015, any music like that, you're going to get hit. I can promise you, unless you own it. Okay, any other questions? I know you'll have a few. Oh, advice on getting over shyness. Okay. Best thing I could do to tell you about getting over shyness is to just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. If I showed you a video from one of my first videos on Twitch, I was nervous. I didn't know how to look at a camera. So for some people, you just have to realize that you're not there. You're safe. You're in your home. It's just a camera, just talking to a camera. It doesn't really matter. And then you kind of get over that. Plus, most of that shyness and most of that fear goes away because the more you practice it, the more you realize that if I want to, I can go, let's be honest. Or, 100% real. Because then when you realize if you can take any mistake you might be afraid of making, and that's what makes you terminally shy, and you turn it into a catchphrase that makes it about you, you own it. I can tell you immediately, my kids will tell you, Chelsea will tell you, Mike Alvarado will tell you, a lot of people will tell you, when I'm in a unique situation or in front of somebody that's new, I get very nervous. I start to sweat. I get really panicky. I suffer from it too. But if you keep doing this and you keep doing this, even though you suck, I still suck. It's just I've done it for so long that I can make myself seem like I know what I'm doing, when in fact, it's the same thing as driving. Okay, here's an example for prisoner. Okay, for all those who are worried about shyness. If you're an adult, then you probably know this already, but if you're a teenager, you're going to figure this out. Remember the first time you drove a car? You were worried about everything. Forget getting on the interstate. You were worried about taking a right turn somewhere. You're looking at the stick shift, you're watching, you're paranoid constantly, and you're constantly worried. You don't do that now, right? Why? Because then it becomes second nature. It just becomes comfortable. It's just something you're used to doing. Same thing goes with streaming. When you watch people, here's a prime example. If you go back on Tim the Tapman's channel and go all the way back to his first streams, he was a wreck. He was a sweaty mess. He was nervous and scared and shy and all these things. And now he's just like, what's up, chat? You know, everyone is like that. If you go back and you watch Courage was just a punk little kid, didn't know what the hell he was doing. Now he turns his awkwardness into something funny. Anytime he gets in a position where he'd be in an awkward situation, he just laughs it off. You do those things, okay? I hope that makes sense. It's just like driving. It is muscle memory, 100%. Okay, software and equipment. Okay, I started off with the worst computer and the shittiest Logitech webcam in the world. Nowadays, fortunately nowadays, most streaming platforms, and I suggest people use OBS. I use Streamlabs OBS, but you don't have to use Streamlabs OBS, even though it gives you everything you could ever need. Some people like to use OBS Live. Some people like to use Stream Elements OBS. I like OBS because it allows you the ability to do everything yourself and set it to your system's needs. For instance, we talked about Vlad Krapula. Worst internet, worst computer of anybody I know, but he streams. He just has to scale his resolution. You scale your processing based upon your GPU, your lighting. Look, these little ring lights. Dude, you can get a pair, two, $14 from Amazon. Webcam. A really, really good webcam to start is a 920. You can use a 700 series from Logitech. Logitechs are really easy to use. I use a Brio. Now, to get a Brio is about $150, but I can scale all the way up to 1080 without a problem. If your computer is not a massive computer, don't do that. Get you a smaller camera. Get you something with less resolution. One of the best ways to do this is to go through the fact of YouTube is your friend. YouTube is not just a platform where you watch this idiot talk about other people's music. No. YouTube is also an amazing place to find out how to do anything. I had a timing sensor go out on my truck 2 weeks ago, looked up how to change it on YouTube and saved myself about $800, instead for labor costs. So I don't have to worry about that. So work with what you have, and whatever you have, I promise you there's probably a YouTube video on how to stream with this piece of crap. It's okay. A lot of my computer, here's the thing. I can stream any game in the world. Okay? I can stream New World. I can stream Warzone. I can stream Destiny 2. These are all beautiful games, high resolution graphics, and I can stream them, and my computer is about $800 from Best Buy. It's not that expensive. But when you get it, you take your equipment and you go on YouTube and say, how do I get the best out of my computer because I want to stream on YouTube or Twitch or whatever? There are people who've gone through all of this stuff to take what you have and make it work for what you want to do. It's really easier than you think. Okay, what else we got? What other streaming do you suggest? That's a very good question. Very simple. Ready? Ready? What do you like to do? No, I'm serious. What do you like to do? Technically, right now, if I wanted to, there are 4 things that I could stream about. Okay? I could do Cajun cooking streams. I've done them. I could stream video games. Done that too. I could stream doing blacksmithing because I like to do blacksmithing. But I'd have to do a lot of work getting that set up outside, a safe, cool environment to put the camera, that kind of stuff. It can get a little weird with the lighting and everything else. So I'm not going to go into that. But I can also stream about YouTube reactions and stuff. Now, I've done gaming streaming, I've done cooking streams, and I've done reaction videos. I just happened to focus on reaction videos because my community exploded with that. So then you go to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I still get messages every day. When are you coming back to Twitch to play video games? So I do it. Okay? What else we got? Also, let me tell you this right now. Yeah. Here's an interesting thought. Michael Dietz, you see him on my channel a lot. He actually made me a beautiful chef's knife. He's a knife maker. He's a blacksmith. When I do my blacksmithing, I usually do sconces. I do cookware. I do fire pokers. I do basic blacksmithing, primitive blacksmithing. I don't do crazy fabrication like you do, Jason. There are a few, there's a few blacksmithing ones. One of my favorite blacksmiths on YouTube is his name. Let me see if I can find his name. Oops, sorry, hold on. I have him on my channel, so hold on. Let me find him real quick. Alex Steele. He's from the UK. He's awesome. He can make anything out of anything. Young guy, but he's got a power hammer and presses, and he's just an amazing guy to watch. To avoid a block, okay. I've done both. I've done this kind. You've seen me do the ones where you see me in my room with the video right there. You've also seen me where I'm in the corner, down over there, down here, and the video is up here. It doesn't matter, okay? How many times I stop a video doesn't matter, okay? The algorithm that catches stuff on YouTube, 3 seconds. 3 seconds of a song, no matter where it is in there, if it's going to be copyrighted, it's going to be copyrighted. Now, if you're going to do music reactions, because you're putting other people's content on your video to help, there is a copyright appeal process. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. Now, just because you get a copyright claim doesn't mean you have a strike. It just means that everything, okay, for instance, here we go. We talked about, I have a video that has 1.25 million views. How much money have I made from that? Because it was copyright claimed by Five Finger Death Punch the minute I uploaded it. Am I mad about that? No, it's their video. And it's a video about vet causes. And all the proceeds from that video go to vet causes. If I did the math, and I have, if I had the copyright to that, if I was able to keep the monetization of that video, I've made Five Finger Death Punch around $12,000 ad revenue off that video. And because it's going to those veterans associations, 100% good with it. Now, some people, and you have to be careful. I do Sabaton videos. I know they're going to claim them all. No problem. I do, Nightwish. They're all going to get claimed. Any artist from the United States is going to get claimed. Japanese bands, be very careful. Sometimes they'll claim it. Sometimes they'll strike you. Just depends upon how they feel. It's scary. So I don't do a lot. But on the other side of it, when you develop relationships, I have a relationship with Leo. I have a relationship with Violet Orlandi. I have a relationship with Hallison, Tom McDonald. And the reason why I made that relationship is not because I emailed them and said, I'm doing a reaction. You shouldn't copyright. No. They came to me and said, hey, what your comments about my video, they were amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Is there anything I can do? And I'm like, it got copyright claimed. They're like, hold on. Done. That has actually happened. Sometimes goodwill releases goodwill. Not all the time. Remember, almost 98% of all YouTube videos where you can get a copyright strike has nothing to do with the artist. especially if they're a band. If they're an individual content creator like Violet Hallison, Leo, those people, Tom McDonald, they control their own copyrights. Those people you can talk to. But if you're dealing with like, I get people telling me all the time, oh, you know, Sabaton would never block your stuff. They love reactors. Sabaton doesn't. The record company does. Because the record company is protecting the monetization and the economic impact of the music. That's their job. Nothing wrong with that. It's their music. I don't want to make money off someone else's creations. Now, is me stopping the video all the time to share my feelings, does it make it kind of mine? Yes. But if an artist doesn't want to share that with me, that's their decision. And I'm 100% respectful of that. And you should be too. I know a reactor who tried to fight with the artist over a copyright claim on a song that they did. And they won. And now they don't have a channel anymore. Why? Because when you fight an artist and not recognize the fact that you need to work with artists and realize that it's their art, even if you're making a reaction video, even if I stop the video every 5 seconds and I talk 20 minutes between each segment and the video was 4 hours long for a 3-minute song, which I'm not there yet, but we're working on it. It's still their art, okay? So if they don't want to share that with you, that is their choice and you need to respect that, okay? The other reactor didn't. They fought, they won legally, and they got the monetization on that video. However, if you think copyright companies don't share information with each other, that person was put on everyone's shit list. And every video they did, strike, 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 gone. He had copyright strikes on the next 3 videos, for even 2 seconds of a song. 3 strikes and you're out on YouTube. So you have to pick your battles. And honestly, when you're doing a reaction channel as a reactor, it is my philosophy that yes, I'm sharing my thoughts, my opinions, what it means to me, and I'm being critical. I'm doing a critique. I'm doing a reaction, a review. But the base of it is still someone else's art. So if they want to share, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. If they don't, I mean, it's a business. That's their art. That's their livelihood. And I'm okay with that. Okay. I have never complained once, and I never will, about an artist saying, hey, that's my music, bro. Okay. Thank you. No problem. Can I do another one? They're like, yeah. Want to do an interview? Yes, I do. You'd be surprised. Let's see here. I talked a little bit. I've seen some channels put free use disclaimer thing on their videos. Does that actually help? Yes and no. Okay. I have one in my description of all my videos. And if you go to Tank the Text channel and he did that year in thing and he talked about copyrights in his, he actually lists a really good one that he uses. I can share mine with you when you go through. Mine literally says in legalese, I'm using it for fair use. I'm a reactor. I'm not claiming this is my own art, my own work, but I'm just doing a reaction thing. Da 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 da. You know, if you don't mind, da da da. Sometimes it works. Most of the times it does not. It doesn't, and it's okay. On the economic side, regarding donations and other earnings for videos, how hard is it to keep up with taxes and such? It is super easy. You want to know why? You ain't going to make enough to pay taxes. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If you're on Patreon, and also if you should happen to be on YouTube or on Twitch, and you get into their payment programs, like for YouTube, it's called AdSense. They pay you based upon ad revenue, and it comes from a third-party vendor. Or in Twitch, for your subscribers, and they send you 1099s. Yeah, that's put in. Yeah, you get a 1099. So just understand, based upon your tax bracket, they can send it to you every quarter and you file your taxes. They'll send it to you every year. You can file your taxes. Now, like I told you, when you start, you probably won't have to worry about that. To get into the partner program in Twitch, you have to have at least 50 followers. You have to have at least 1,000 hours, and you have to stream 25 times in a month, and you have to have at least an average, I think it's 3, 5, or 7, I don't remember which was, viewers per stream. That's going to take you a couple months, period. And then you start working that stuff out. Once you're into the affiliate program and you can start cashing in on things, you have to be very careful. What I like to do, because I live in the United States, is every time that I get paid by YouTube or Twitch or Patreon, what I like to do is I put that into a savings account and I do not touch it. And I know that no matter what, I do the math. 0.3 times whatever that is, 30%. And I make sure that I have that at the end of that quarter or the end of that year, because you never know how much of a tax hit you're going to take. So always take the high end, which is 30%, to make sure. But that's all part of doing business. Can you add a song suggestion? Yes, you can. Green screen looks like it fits you in the channel better. Okay. Green screens. Here's the best part. Whether you want to use a green screen or you just want to put, just a window right here, the best part about it is, again, YouTube is your buddy. It'll tell you how to set it up. And if you're using OBS or you're using a Logitech camera, they have preset Chrome. They have preset Chrome setups to do your green screen for you. You don't even have to do it. It's super easy. And originally, when you used to have to do green screen work, you used to have like a big bunch of floodlights to make it work. Nope. Now they have low light green screen programs that come with OBS, that come with Logitech. I have 2 ring lights and it's seamless. You don't have to have a lot. Should I say I'm using a tool from a store that rhymes with Martyr Fate instead of saying the actual store? No, actually no. When you're doing videos and you're talking about tools and brand tools, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you say, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I say, hey, I'm using this Snap-on torque wrench, Snap-on is not gonna come after you for a copyright strike saying the name of a tool. Wearing a t-shirt that says, you know what I'm saying? When you're making a YouTube video, like you don't see people, when you see all these car videos, and this is specifically to Jason and all you guys and all the ladies, you've ever watched a car video when somebody's repairing a car? Do they put duct tape over the Nissan symbol? No, because they're talking about a Nissan vehicle. However, in reverse, yeah, most companies do not care about that. Like I could wear a Bandmade t-shirt or a Baby Metal t-shirt. They don't care about that because technically copyright laws don't care about stuff like this from an impact on you. However, let's say one of you becomes the next Dr. Disrespect. Then it goes in reverse. You don't wear their stuff unless, you see what I'm saying? You'll never see Dr. Disrespect wear a Pepsi shirt if Pepsi's not paying him. Why? Because he's his own brand. Right now, you see me wearing my own t-shirts all the time. Why? Because it's my brand. I'm branding myself. And I'm setting myself up. Now, am I being egotistical thinking this is going to happen? No. But you never know, so prepare yourself. Everything I show is my branding. I do show Transformers, Star Wars, but this is all stuff that can be bought at a store. It's nothing exclusive. Now, later on, there might be a company that might contact me and say, hey, I see you're sitting in that type of chair. Would you mind sitting in one of our chairs and then making it to where people can see it like this? Yeah, we're going to send you a free chair, and depending upon how many views of your video, we're going to send you so much money for that. That's where you control, because your brand means something to someone else, not the other way around. Now, yeah, here's something else. If you go into, I'm going to do Prisoner and Berserkers next. Okay. Okay, that's a very good point. Okay, let's do Prisoner's question. Do we have to watch the whole video ad for it to help a channel, or is it okay to skip it when it lets us? Skip it when it lets you. Don't screw yourself over for me. I'm going to share with you guys something. I don't know if I can show it, but I'm going to look up here first before I try to show it, make sure I can do it. When you're talking about ads in YouTube specifically, everyone has a different way about doing it. However, let me show you how this works, okay? I'm going to try to see if I can find this. Engagement, that's it, okay. There are different, the way the ads lay out for monetization. So let me show you how this works. When I go to set up a, okay, watch. I know how to do this, watch. I'm gonna go into my YouTube channel. I'm gonna go into the video that we're doing right now. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna edit the video real quick. Now, I'm gonna go to monetization, hold on. Okay, this is the type of, this is the stream that we're doing right now, okay? The monetization is limited. Do not know. Because it's something I said is limiting the monetization. I don't even know what it is. But here you go. Display ads, overlay ads, skippable ad forms, non-skippable ads, sponsored ads. So the ads are not controlled by me. However, if you sit through an entire skippable ad, it doesn't change whether or not I make money on it. It's literally considered an ad that can be skipped. So once you get the part that goes countdowns from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, skip ad, do it. You don't have to sit through that ad for me. It's not gonna, especially on a live stream. All that does is make you watch, you know, I'm having a not so fresh feeling ad. It's not good. Okay. Okay, now I'm suggesting my favorite song, love the channel. Okay, I could do that. Okay, that's free advertising. Oh, I have to use an editing app to do green screen on my iPad Pro, so do I need to buy a PC to get a better green screen look? Yes and no. Okay, yes and no. The difference for you, Berserker, is you're doing a recorded ad content, okay? So if you're doing recorded ad content, you can do it one of two ways. You could record the video and you're using a green screen and it's an app for that. Because I'm doing my stuff live, this is how easy it is for me. And I want to show you guys how this works. Okay, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to watch. Hold on. This is for all the people that think I work too hard. Okay. So in my setup, I have all these different scenes. Look, I have well, let me move this over so you can see it. That was kind of dumb. Hold on. Okay. Look. Reactions, no green screen. Reactions, green. Game streaming, family D&D, D&D Strahd, all these are all the little things. If I go to Brio, okay? I go into Brio, go to filters, chroma key is right here. Brio automatically has it set up to where I can literally, and watch, once I move this up, watch what happens when I move this up. Now I am the green screen is there. So anything I put in front of it will no longer be shown. Click, and there you go, green screen. It's literally just like that. So it depends upon how you do it, okay? If you're using OBS, because I'm a live streamer, I use my live streaming setup that I would use for gaming in real time, and I just take those videos and I just take, instead of, in OBS, watch, in OBS, right here, instead of using stream, I just record instead. Here's the best part. If you use a PC and you're doing OBS and you're doing recordings, there's something in OBS that allows you, if your graphics card and your internet speed isn't enough to do 1080p, 1080 resolution for your streams and make them all crisp and clean, when you go to record, because you're recording it and not trying to stream it live over the internet, you can raise it up to 4K if you want and then just upload it, as long as you have enough memory space for the file. If you're like, when I do YouTube videos, they're super sharp. When I do live streaming, it's a little bit less because I'm streaming to the internet. It all depends upon your internet provider's bandwidth. Now, if you're going to stream on YouTube or on Twitch, I don't care which one you use, you need to have at least 10 megabits per second up. I don't care what you have down, but up. That's going to give you enough space to send the graphics, the stream, and the feed up through the internet without it slowing down at 1080p. But that's just me, to do 60 frames per second. But when you're recording, I can do 120 frames per second. I don't have to, but you can. OBS, out of bandwidth system, right? Okay, let's go here. I have an ad blocker. Okay. YouTube Premium, you won't regret it. Yes. Here's something that people don't know. There's a unique way to make money on Twitch, where on Twitch, if you subscribe to a channel, you don't have to worry about the ads while they're streaming. So for $5 a month, that entire channel is ad-free. And if you watch that channel a lot, it might be okay for you. On YouTube, it's a little different. If you get YouTube Premium, you don't get ads on anything. I have YouTube Premium because I've seen people do reactions to music videos and they're watching the video and an ad comes up because they don't even think about, get YouTube Premium if you're going to do reactions to videos. You don't want to, no. But here's the other thing. If you do YouTube Premium, okay, and you come to my stuff, do you see ads? No. Do I get revenue? Yes. I actually get a preset amount of revenue because you're a premium person and you won't see the ads, but because you won't see the ads, I get a portion of that from YouTube. So the more of you on my channel that are premium YouTube subscribers, even if the band that we're doing it copyright claims the whole thing, they have to give me the premium cut of that. So I've actually received a small amount of monetization, even from songs that I have copyright claims on, because the people watching it are premium members and it's a relationship between them and YouTube. So it has nothing to do with copyright claim. Yep, Turbo on Twitch and YouTube Premium. They also, yeah. Okay. Let me get one more question and then we're going to wrap this up because we've been going on for 2 hours. I didn't realize we were going to be doing this for 2 hours. So one more question. Make it a good one. And please don't say, what does the color blue taste like? Won't answer that one. Also, I will not answer the question, hey, if our knees bent the other way, what would a chair look like? I'm not going to answer that one either. But I do know I'd be sitting on my balls a lot, and I don't want to do that either.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
It's true. For lunch, no idea. I'm probably going to go pick it up. We got to go make a grocery run. We got to go get dog food, water, storm supplies, extra gas. Okay. That, you know what? You use that as a question, Berserker. Okay. Patreon. Why do I use Patreon? There's a reason why. There's a lot of things that if you're on Twitch, you monetize on Twitch, okay? If you're on YouTube and you can't become a part of the premium thing because you don't have enough views, or the content you're doing is always going to be claimed, like mine. I'm not going to make any more than maybe 25 to 30 bucks a month on ad revenue on YouTube, even though I have all the views I have. I have 5.5 million views. If I'm lucky, it's going to be between 30 and 40, 50, 60 bucks a month on ad revenue because most of my stuff is copyright claimed. So for my efforts, I say, look, I'm not going to make money on the videos, so I'm going to engage in a community on Patreon. So I give people on Patreon access to different things. There are videos on my Patreon I will never put on YouTube. Why? Because that's for the Patreon people. Also, different levels of Patreon get special perks. They can be on the Discord. They get to come play D&D with us. There's a whole section that's Council of Nerddom, and there's only 20 spots. Why? Because those 20 people are guaranteed every month their reaction gets done, no matter what. Even if it's a bullshit one that I know Wretched Rob's going to make me do something that I don't want to do, but he paid for it, so it's his. And they get the shout out. You see what I'm saying? You give different things. For instance, here's one that people don't even think about. That. Right there. Patreon peeps. All the members of the second level of Patreon, they get their names scrolled through every video I do. And I actually saved that in this stream for that. That's super easy. That's easy stuff. That's Stream Elements. It's a simple app. So here's the thing. I am now going to go get ready for a hurricane. All of you have a wonderful day. And yes, ComicCon got canceled, but not this panel. We did this panel anyway. Why? Why? Because we can. If this panel hasn't showed you anything, it should show you this. It doesn't matter how old you are, how fat you are, where you come from, what you look like. If you put forth the effort, find what you love, and then share it, you will find other people that love what you love. They like what you like. They connect to things in the way that you connect with them. It may be 1 or 2 people at first. It may be 20 people in a month, or it may be 51,000 in 9 months. You don't know. The key behind my biggest video on my channel was because of who I was, not who I was pretending to be. I was a veteran who was deployed overseas. I know what it's like when you come home. I have PTSD. And so I watched the 5-Finger Death Punch video of Wrong Side of Heaven, and I connected with the story in an intimate way. And my connection was 100% real. I bared my feelings about it, how I really felt about it. And that connected to other veterans and their families and people that understand that way. I did not know. I had no idea that that video would go viral. Didn't plan on it. I didn't step up there and go, yeah, I'm going to make so many clicks on this video because of da. No, I just was myself. And there are things that I relate to that make it important to me. No matter who you are, you have something that you love. You share that love with other people. There are people out there. There are people. Okay, how many of you have a dad, an uncle, a grandfather who just loves to build crap out of junk, who loves to just turn anything into something important? Jason's doing that. What if Jason made a video right now? He goes out to the junkyard Jason, this is a class for you. Get ready. He takes his phone. He goes out to the junkyard and he goes, I think we could do something with this. I think we can do something with this. We could do something with this. Goes back to his shop and creates something. Jason has a unique responsibility to tag so many different genres of people. Jason's thinking right now, okay, I'm a guy from Oklahoma and I work in fabrication. So I can make videos about fabrication for guys like me. Nope, not at all. You know what Jason can do? Jason can go to the junkyard. So now he's picked up all those junk people from American Restoration and all the dumpster diver, the pickers, all those people, finds something and then says, now, what are the ideas? He can open up an Instagram channel, take pictures of the item and say, what should I do with this? Ideas? He starts pulling people ideas. And then he makes a video and he goes, remember when we found the such and such? Okay, here, I'm doing this for you. Ready, Jason? What if Jason made the video and goes, okay, I found this heater panel from an old commercial heater block, and I have this big panel of metal. I'm trying to think what I want to do with it. What do you guys think? And all of a sudden, Old School Nerd goes, dude, you could make a sign with my logo with that. And he goes, well, let's see. Then he makes a video about how he found it. And then he makes a video about, okay, so this is the idea that came from the person. And he puts it all out there. This is the file they sent me. Da-da-da-da. Let's see what steps it takes. And he goes through the process. He takes something that's nothing or a piece of junk, which is going to appeal to all the pickers, all the junkyard people, and there's a ton of them out there. You want to know how I know? Go watch TLC, Discovery Channel, History Channel, Travel Channel. How many videos, how many Netflix shows are there right now on Netflix about people taking junk and turning it into something awesome? And Jason has the ability to go from point A all the way to the end product in his daily life as a hobby. Now he's this scruffy, rough guy, my name is Jason, I'm from Oklahoma. And then he becomes this guy that can turn something into something unique. And then all of a sudden he builds a brand. And then he takes these custom creations, and because of his videos, there's an antique shop or a folk shop or an Americana shop somewhere that goes, I want that piece. So now he's making an Instagram following because he's interacting with people on Instagram to help him find those items and create those items. Then he's making YouTube videos on the fabrication and how he gets to that end. And then at the very end of it, the people that see what he's doing are like, hey, how can we get some of your custom creations? Jason and I were talking about, hey, you could actually do custom signs for people on YouTube who need logo stuff because it's a great idea. It's a 3D sign. I can reach inside of it. It's really kind of cool. But because in the video that Jason made with me or for me, he talked about how he just went to the junkyard and find it. I was like, oh my God, Jason, that's your entire channel. From junk to jewel. From trash to treasure. There's your brand right there. Just got to make sure no one else is doing it, but wouldn't be that hard. Now, that's one person who never thought he would ever be on YouTube or anything, and that's just what he loves to do. Just goes to the junkyard, finds some stuff, and he would rather repurpose it into something else than let it go to a landfill. He literally said that in his video. I'd rather make something that somebody would like out of this than it go to the landfill and just, be junked. That's a brand. That's a hobby. That's a love. That is exactly what you do. People say, how'd you come up with Old School Nerd? I just did it. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. I don't care where you come from. You can do this. You just have to figure out who you are. And you know what? Everyone knows that this is my YouTube channel. My Instagram channel is the same thing as this. Find me on Instagram, Send me a message. Hey, I saw so you want to be a streamer video, your panel from Comic-Con, and I have some ideas. What do you think? Here's the thing. Remember when we talked about Mike, Pre-Fires TV? When he passed away, I told his widow, sent her a message, and I said, I just want to tell you I appreciate everything Mike did for me. And his legacy to me is that I'm going to help other people. He was my first friend. He was my first friend, first person to ever believe in me. He didn't even know me. I don't know any of you either, but you can do this too. My name is Old School Nerd. And yes, I am old, but you're never too old and you're never too young to go for it. Why not? Life's short. Live it. We'll see you guys later.